Well, we're gonna shoot a couple dye guns here. We're gonna shoot M3 Plus, is Joel's personal baby.
The whip.
And then we have a black DSR here that we're gonna compare. So obviously, these guns are 2 different price points, but the same manufacturer. So we figured people wanna know, you know, well, how do they shoot if I'm gonna buy one that's $600 more expensive? So maybe today will be the moment of truth for somebody.
I'm gonna turn this gun off before I make a bad decision. So here you guys have the Dye M3 Plus. This is Dye's flagship high-end marker. Retails at a price point of about $1,600 or more, depending upon if you get the private label colorways. This is the PGA Woodland Camo, I think was the name of it.
Yeah.
But Dye did a really good job with these anos. I personally shoot the M3 Plus.
That's your personal gun.
It is. I was shooting the Prime XTS before this. I switched over to the M3 Plus. I really like this platform. I like how straight it shoots. It's been extremely reliable for me so far. Shot in cold weather. Had some issues with a different M3 Plus, and I went away from it for a little bit. But then with this one, I've had a really good experience. I used it in colder weather, about 30 degrees here in Ohio, and it shot fine. So renewed my confidence in being able to cycle in cold weather. But other than that, you know, I really like how this shoots. It shoots really straight. It's smooth. It's efficient. It's easy on paint. It's basically the final, you know, everything.
It's the final boss, man.
Yeah. It's a little bit heavier. I actually like that. Feels really rock solid in the hands.
An 80 with it, or a 90.
This
no,
is
that's your 80. That's your 80.
Yeah, this is my 80. I have a 90, but it just feels too long with the 90.
Joel, correct me if I'm wrong. You've always said that you actually really like the UL frame, that hourglass kind of grip frame, right?
Yes. So if you guys look, this is something that they started with the DM6 back in the day, 2006. Their flagship marker, they debuted the UL frame, and they've kept it ever since. The Dye DSR also has that UL frame as well.
Super comfy in the hands.
So some major differences between these two guns. But the big difference on these guns is it's a different bolt system, so you're gonna shoot differently. That's why we're out here doing that today. You know, the trigger on this is the deuce. That you just have the blade style trigger.
Yeah.
Different bolt release systems, different bolts. This has the ULS barrel system with 2 backs, and that is a ULS back with a UL front.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So if you guys look, there's a little bit difference in this. This is has a little bit more bulk to it as compared to the ULS, where they really milled that down. The porting's also different.
Yeah.
The linear porting here as compared to the linear porting here. So that's a little bit different. And then, you know, there's other bells and whistles. So check it out. We're here to shoot it. We're not here to talk about all the differences. So.
Time to chrono.
All right, so I got the DSR here. 309, 291, 317, 305, 310, 287.
Yeah, and that's a brand new DSR as well.
Yeah,
Gotta break it in a
it hasn't been
little
broken in at all. So.
And then we'll chrono Joel's here.
Ready for the chrono?
Yes, sir. Here we go. All right, I'm good.
You're all good. You're in the shot.
All right. 287.
287 again. 295.
291.
289.
289.
292.
And this gun has probably about 20,000 shots through it, so it has been broken.
A little more broken, but still not totally broken in yet.
Doug, how we looking?
Go a little more to your left there, boss.
Left.
Yep, there you go.
All right,
rip away. There you go.
Good?
Yep. Now what y'all should do is refill your hoppers and swap guns so you can kind of feel them side by side like that.
Yeah.
I got you a pod caddy right here.
The other thing to mention is that we're shooting Valken Reserve and Valken Fate, so this is kind of beginner level paintballs, so you're not going to get superior accuracy with either one. So, all right, let's switch it up.
You'll switcheroo, boys.
All right, give them the.
I can already tell that this gun's lighter.
I'll start with the M3.
I can already tell because we've got
DSR
well,
definitely lighter.
to be fair, the Spire 4 is going to be 20 more balls.
That's true.
We have that, but the DSR's definitely feels.
Back her on
lighter.
up there, Keeks.
I'm gonna give it the bit further away.
Okay.
Because it sounds different.
All right.
All right.
Go ahead, buddy.
Good?
All good. All right, and then Joel's up
All
with
right,
the DSR.
Keegan, what's your? Well, we'll talk about pop.
Yeah, we'll
Let me shoot
talk
this
after.
thing. All right, Dougie Doug, you got me. Nope.
Helps if things are on.
There we go.
There you go, boss. Empty hopper, almost.
No breaks. That's a good sign.
Spray for 1 second.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Keith, go ahead, walk over there
What
with
do you
him.
think? Which one do you like more?
Probably DSR. For some reason, I'm not sure if it's just this gun. Like, occasionally a shot will just be like extremely poppy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could hear that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could hear it. So I've got the dwell set at not factory, so that could definitely be one thing. But yeah, I have noticed that as well. So I'm not exactly sure. Maybe it's a bad bolt tip or something like that, because that's got the flex face bolt in it. So if you look at the bolts.
It's a little dirty.
Joel didn't clean his gun after last weekend.
That could be part of it too. There we go. Okay. All right. So here we have the bolt of the DSR, and as you can see, it doesn't have any tip. So I think that could be something, just something that to mention.
But as far as how the shots felt,
Yeah, Keegan.
Fairly close to me. There's not like a huge difference between the two. Honestly, I think that the DSR has a bit more of a like poof to it than this does.
it sounds like it does.
Oh, this has more of like a pop, not like a snappy shot like a Lux X, but it has more of like a poppy shot, and this has more of almost a poof. Poof to me is more of like a Lux Ice, but it's closer to an Ice than I would say it is an X. And
It's not like a poof. It's like a woof.
yeah,
It's not a poof. It's a woof. It's not a Lux poof.
Yeah.
It's a woof. I think it's interesting because, in my opinion, the DSR is unlike any other shot in paintball. I would say the DSR, if you're an old school die guy, this shot is definitely more realistic of the old die guns. This is like a tuned in DM7 when it comes to like how it shoots as far as the LPR and everything else like that. Obviously this doesn't have a LPR, but like if you had a tuned in LPR on like an older die gun, that's how this feels, whereas like that is a completely unique shot. The other thing I'd like to mention is that the M3 was significantly more accurate. And I think that might be. Can you check the back on that?
Yeah.
I might have the A4 back on that. This is 688, so it could just be a paint sizing issue. But overall, this was definitely not nearly as accurate. Is that an 88?
8.8.
Okay, so on that side of things, we're on level playing fields. So with that said, I would say that the M3 was definitely more accurate.
I agree.
As far as the shot quality goes.
Even with the crappy paint.
Even with the crappy paint, yeah, it was pretty much. And that's what I really like about the M3 platform. Like, I feel like when my off the break shots are excellent because every ball is just like honest, especially if you're shooting, like high grade paint.
Shooting for runners, baby.
Yeah, exactly. The DSR feels great in the hands. I do like that. This seems like it's a little bit like thicker here than the M3.
Yeah.
That thing seems like a little bit more fat. I like how the DSR feels. I wish that die had made this a little bit longer, but it is what it is.
When we were in the shop just a minute ago and Joel picked that DSR up just to kind of mess with it, I watched him talk to himself and have a moment of like, I don't know if I want to shoot a DSR on my M3. He goes back and forth a lot. He likes both of them.
I do. I really do. You know, I try to be unbiased as possible. But overall, I like how the the DSR feels. I just like that the shot of the M3 feels a little bit straighter.
Yeah.
The efficiency of the M3 is really nice. And you know, I think we should do ultimately at some point do a DSR versus M3 efficiency video. But I know for a fact that we've gotten about 1,400 shots on an 80 with about 4,200 psi. With that, we haven't done an efficiency test on the DSR, so that's something that we'll do in the future for you guys. I gotta go with M3. I gotta go with M3 just because it shoots straighter. It's this is definitely more spooly. That's definitely a little bit more poppy.
Yeah.
But that shoots straighter.
I gotta go with the DSR.
Why's that?
Same reason as you, just opposite.
Just opposite.
He likes the spoolie
I
feel.
like the more spoolie feel of that. I love the shot of like Lux's, and it feels more, it feels closer to that. And I just, the way the gun feels lighter. This gun, I mean, the M3 isn't a small gun, it's a very big gun. Yeah. And so that feels a lot better in my small hands than the M3 does. So this does feel pretty good, but I'm gonna have to give it to the DSR.
All right, well, there you guys have it. There's a shot comparison video between the DSR and the M3 Plus. If you guys aren't subscribed, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'll see you guys next time.